Hi, welcome to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and today I have a book haul. So a couple of weeks ago, I was traveling for a conference, and I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. You're here on BookTube, you're a reader, you probably enjoy the story. So the story goes like this. I dropped off my mom at my aunt's house, and I had a little bit of time between getting to the Dallas area, and meeting my friend. My friend and I were going to be sharing a hotel room. So I was waiting for her to come into town. And of course, what does one do? One looks up bookstores near me. And I was like, I'm just going to go get lost in a bookstore for as long as it takes for my friend to get here. It was the day after the election. It was the day after the election. So I needed a pick me up, and being home was not like at my aunt's house was not the pick me up I needed, and I just kind of wanted to get lost in a bookstore. So I ended up at a bookstore. I ended up at Whose Books Bookstore. They are a Latinx owned bookstore. John and Claudia at this bookstore are such nice, lovely people. Really like their vibe. The bookstore carries a lot of own voices, BIPOC authors, queer, LGBTQIA representation. It felt like a very welcoming space. They had a really nice selection of books in Spanish, a lot of translated works. They seem to be very active in the community. I just really, really had a good time browsing. And that first day, so I went twice. The first day I went there, John was trying to recommend books, trying to see what I was into, trying to kind of give me some good book recommendations, because that's what you want, right? When you go to an indie bookstore, you want the bookseller to show you some books you hadn't heard of, or help you discover a new author, or a new genre or something. So I was like, and it was a day after the election, and I just wanted some comfort reads. And so I bought some books then. I had some books on my list that I was looking for that they didn't have, but they ordered for me, and those came in the mail. And then they were having an event. They were celebrating their 2 or 3 year anniversary, the bookstore birthday. And they told me, come back on Saturday, and because I was there during the week the first time. So I went back on Saturday before I left town, and couldn't help myself. I just really loved the bookstore so much, and I really liked what they had. And so I bought some books, and here we are. So these are in no order of when I got there, what I bought first, because it's been a while. But I do remember that on the Saturday when I went, so on the Wednesday when I got there, John was the one that was helping me out. And then when I went on Saturday, I got to talk more with Claudia, and I got this book. So this was wrapped up in a mystery, blind date with the book kind of thing. And these were banned books that they were not giving away, but they had them on sale, and they were being promoted. So this blind date says it was removed from a local school library as quote unquote inappropriate. This book won the International Latino Book Award in 2019. So what? Inappropriate, but won an award? It's this one. Cuando amamos, cantamos. When we love someone, we sing to them. Cuento story by Ernesto Javier Martinez. art by Maya González, traducción, translation by Jorge, Gabriel, Martinez, Feliciano. And this is a really heartwarming story about a boy and his dad. And his dad is a musician. His dad teaches him to play guitar and teaches him that music is a way of expressing your emotions. And when we love someone, we sing to them. So this boy has a first crush on another boy. And he finds his expression through music and song, and his dad helps him express his emotions through music. His parents love him and give him the inspiration, the love to use music to communicate love. It is such a heartwarming book. I read this as soon as I opened it. Once I was traveling to Austin that day, so when I got to Austin, I checked it out, and it was such a cute book. Let me just show you. These are the two boys, and they like each other. And it just says, my heart fluttered like the wind in the grass when you held my hand. Mi corazón vibró como hojas de zacate en el viento cuando tomaste mi mano. And then they're having a picnic. And it says, my heart beat as loud as the rain the afternoon we spent together. Mi corazón retumbó como la lluvia en la tarde que pasamos juntos. It's such a beautiful, book. The artwork is so, so sweet and beautiful. I really love the artwork. I love the story. I think it's very heartwarming. So this is a great picture book for fans of Heartstopper. This is a great picture book in general. It shows kids how they can express their feelings and how music is a great way to show love. So show someone you love them by singing to them. And it talks about how the parents give this little boy the confidence to be able to sing his heart out to the person he loves. Look, there's the dad is teaching him how to sing his emotions. It says, Papi drove me to the boy 3 days later. We practiced my new song, my love song. The whole car ride there, when we parked the car and tuned the guitar, Papi hugged me and said, sing with flair. Papi me llevó en coche a ver a mi amigo 3 días después. Practicamos mi nueva canción de amor durante todo el viaje y cuando nos estacionamos y afinamos la guitarra, papi me abrazó diciéndome, canta, con alegría, canta. It's just such a cute story. I love Heartstopper. I think this is a good, for fans of Heartstopper, this is a good book. It's too bad it's banned because it's a gorgeous book and it's a sweet love story. And check it out if you are interested in supporting Latino, Latinx authors, own voices, BIPOC, and you want to read a sweet picture book that has the vibes of Heartstopper. I think this is a good option. Next, I'm just kind of pulling out of my bag here. I have this bag. A poetry collection, because of course, one of the things I said was, I'm into poetry. Where's your poetry collection? And John told me about this one. He pointed this one out on the shelf. It's Arsonist by Joaquin Zihuatanejo. 2017, Aninga Robert Dana Price. Joaquin's text is a shapeshifter of an existential shivering, yet it is on fire. Juan Felipe Herrera, Poet Laureate of the United States, 2015 to 2017. This is a really interesting collection. It's blurred by Legally Long Soldier, author of Whereas, which I have. Juan Felipe Herrera, Poet Laureate. Eduardo C. Corral, author of Slow Lightning. It's published by Aninga Press. it looks like it's a bilingual collection, and I think some of these might be, no, they're all in English. I think I just noticed some Spanish words popping out here and there, but they're all in English. Um, Published in 2018. I haven't read from it yet, but I will probably be reading from this collection in my channel in the future on for Thursday Night Poetry, and have some plans for this book. So more to come here about this collection. And then I was looking for this book because I had just finished All Yours, Tuya by Claudia Pineiro with my Pineiro project friends on Voxer. And I love Tuya, All Yours. And we had agreed that we were going to read the sequel to that, which is El Tiempo de las Moscas, Time of the Flies. Time of the Flies is the most recent translated book published by Claudia Pineiro. I think the translator is Francis Riddle. But I wanted to get the book in Spanish, and they didn't have a copy, but they ordered it for me, and it came in the mail, and it arrived here just like a couple of days after I got home. I was looking for the publishing date for this one. It was published in Spanish in 2022 by Penguin Random House, Grupo Editorial. And that little ding ding, I think that's the group sending messages, maybe about this, maybe about something else, but sorry if you hear my dings on my phone. It's coming up that it's Voxer. I'm guessing it's about this book. Okay, so hello to my Pinedo pals on Voxer. I will get to your messages as soon as I finish recording this. And yeah, I actually finished this book today, and I absolutely loved it, but I can't say more because we haven't talked about it, and I think that might be some of what's about to happen. But yeah, this is a great book. Happy to have it on my shelf. So that first day when I got there, it was the day after the election. I think I looked like I was in a gloomy mood. And I think I said something like, oh, I need to pick me up. So John, one of the owners, John was asking me, so like he's like, so what do you like? And so he was like, do you like romance? And I was like, yes, I love romance. He was like, do you like spicy? And I was like, yes, I do. I mean, yeah, why not? And so he recommended this one, Running from the Blaze by Ofelia Martinez. Ofelia Martinez is a Latine author. The way he described this is about a rock band, a musician in a rock band, and a kind of like a romance, a love story. So I don't know, like I'm wondering, I'm not saying that it is, but I'm kind of wondering, is it like a spicy version of like Daisy Jones and the Six? I don't know. I did love like the story of a band. I did really enjoy Daisy Jones and the Six, and when he said musician and like the music, like the rock band vibe, I was like, yes, like I really would love that. This is a signed copy by the author, so I feel like really happy to have gotten a signed copy at the bookstore. A little bit about just what the back says. Maybe it'll spark some intrigue and some like curiosity for you if you're into like spicy romance. I think it's told in like dual perspective. So Lola says, I clean mansions for a living. The notorious heavy metal guitarist isn't supposed to be home when I show up. but he is, and everything goes wrong. After a near-miss dog attack incident involving peanut butter, I am convinced Carl Sommer is going to fire me. Instead, he asks for a favor. Carl says, she's temptation personified, forbidden, the lead singer's sister-in-law. The worst thing I could do is go there, which only makes me want her more. But I'm new to Industrial in November, and my spot in the band is far from guaranteed. I need to find a way to convince the label my reckless party days are over. A fake relationship might be the answer, until Lola turns my proposal into something much more indecent. Now I have no idea how I'm supposed to keep my hands to myself. So this this might be something I get to for just like a fun story. So, running from the place. So the week that I was there was the week that Mia Pimentel-Sala's 5th cozy mystery book was going to be published, and I had forgotten to put in my pre-order. So I got there and I said, "Hey, is this book? Do you have any copies of this book? Can I get a copy?" They didn't have them, but they had ordered them, and they said they'll be coming in. Come back on Saturday, and that's why I went back Saturday because they said we probably will have them by then. So, Guilt and Ginatan, book 5 in Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series by Pia Milan-Sala. I love the series. This is like my jam in terms of cozy mystery. It's a big, fun Filipino family. Lots of really delicious Filipino food. The recipes in the back, I've done some of them in previous books. My mouth is starting to water. They're so good. So I'm really curious to get into the recipes in this one. And it's Lila Macapagal and her dog Longanisa and her friends at the Bruja Cafe, her family. It's all usually a lot of fun, and like this happens. A lot of salivating while you're reading because the food descriptions in here are so good. So yeah, I am really looking forward to this. Is all fall vibes. It says autumn is in full swing for the town of Shady Palms, the perfect time for warm drinks, cozy cardigans, and dead bodies. The annual Shady Palms Corn Festival. That's about all I'm going to read because this is book 5 in the series. And I don't know if there's many spoilers, but it's at a corn festival. I think I need to get this. I need to get to this ASAP. Maybe this is a good Thanksgiving week read. Next is Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Going from one into the other, right? America's Legacy of Enduring Injury and Healing by Dr. Joy DeGroy. So I was at a conference for social workers that week that I was in Dallas, the Dallas area. And I went to a workshop in which this book was discussed. And this book was discussed in the context of trauma and healing trauma and understanding generational trauma. I'll read a little bit about the story. In the 16th century, the beginning of African enslavement in the Americas, until the ratification of the 13th Amendment and emancipation in 1865. Africans were hunted like animals, captured, sold, tortured, and raped. They experienced the worst kind of physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual abuse. Given such history, isn't it likely that many of the enslaved were severely traumatized? And did the trauma and the effects of such horrific abuse end with the abolition of slavery? I'm going to skip ahead down to a little bit. Dr. Joy DeGroy answers these questions and more. With over 30 years of practical experience as a professional in the mental health field, Dr. DeGroy encourages African Americans to view their attitudes, assumptions, and behaviors through the lens of history and so gain a greater understanding of how centuries of slavery and oppression has impacted people of African descent in America. Post-traumatic slave syndrome helps to lay the necessary foundation to ensure the well-being and sustained health of future generations and provides a rare glimpse into the evolution of society's beliefs, Feelings, Attitudes, and Behavior Concerning Race in America. Dr. Joy DeGroy is nationally and internationally renowned for her research on matters of trauma, race, and education. She is an ambassador for healing and a voice for those whose historical legacy continues to impact them today. Dr. DeGroy has authored evidence-based models for both education and mental and behavioral health, as well as an assessment instrument, the African American Adolescent Respect Scale. Among her noted presentations, she has been a speaker at the United Nations Conference on Race, the National Association of Social Workers, the Essence Women of Leadership Conference, and the Association of Black Psychologists. Dr. Joy has been interviewed by numerous news and media organizations, including the National Press Club and NPR. She's an assistant professor at Portland State University and now lectures at colleges and universities throughout the world. This was a great discussion at this conference, and it was an intense conversation, but it was an intense conversation that really opened up, I think, a path to move towards healing, and there was a lot of comforting one another. There was a lot of emotions shared during this presentation, and there was a lot of community building from the discussion from this book. So the power of what I saw inside the room in which this book was discussed, I think I want that power, that healing and that sense of empowerment to continue throughout. So I'm going to be probably slow reading this book because the font in here is tiny, and I think it's going to be a really difficult book to read. So this is one I'm going to be kind of moving through very slowly and gently, because it is tough, but it's important and it's necessary. This next book is one that I'm going to talk about on my channel soon. I'm not going to go too much into it right now, but I knew I was going to have conversations about this book, and I knew that I wanted to go more in depth with this book, so I ordered it. Or what did I purchase it? Can't remember if they had it there or this is one of the ones they shipped to me. But it's The Lost Children Archive, a novel by Valeria Luiselli. Okay, I'm almost done. This book was in a little corner of the bookshop, and I saw it, and I was like, I have been wanting this book forever. Abuelita Say, What Women on the Margins Teach Us About Wisdom, Persistence, and Strength by Kat Armas. I have followed Kat Armas' writing, and I've heard her speak on podcasts and conferences, and I really enjoy her work, her faith-based work, her spiritual thoughts. Kat Armas has a Master in Divinity and MAT Fuller Theological Seminary, hosts the Protagonistas podcast, where she highlights stories of everyday women of color. She has written for Christianity Today, Sojourners, Relevant Christians for Biblical Equality, Fuller Youth Institute, and Missio Alliance, and speaks regularly on race and justice. Discover the wisdom of overlooked women, combining personal storytelling with biblical reflection. Cuban-American writer Kat Armas tells the story of unnamed and overlooked theologians, mothers, grandmothers, sisters, and daughters, whose sacred wisdom teaches us something unique about spirituality and God. This book has been on my TBR for a really, really long time, and I had been wanting to find it out in the wild, and I'm really glad I found it at Whose Books. And when I picked it up, I think John was like, oh, hey, you found it. You found that book. I think he was like, he would recommend this book. He said he thought I would enjoy it. So there's that. This book was an audiobook I was listening to that week because I was reading it with my friend whom I was meeting up with for the conference. And hi, Mika, if you're watching. We've since finished it. We've had a really great discussion, and I can't wait to talk more about this book on my channel. I'm not going to go into it very much. I think I've mentioned this in my weekend review. I love this book so much. Gave it 5 stars so much that I messaged Whose Books and said, I want to order this book from you. Can you ship it to me? And it's here. It came in yesterday, More Than You'll Ever Know by Katie Gutierrez. This is a debut novel. This is a book that I have loved recently so very much. And now I have a copy, and it's a hardcover, and it's got my favorite like deckled edges, and it's going to look beautiful on my shelf. I'm really happy with it. So I will be talking more about this book soon. And so that was all from Whose Books. But before I went to the conference, I had picked up some pre-orders. So there were 2 books that I'd pre-ordered a while back, and they came in this fall, and I hadn't shared them with you. So this one is The Restaurant of Lost Recipes. This is book 2 in the Kamigawa Food Detectives series. The Kamigawa Food Detectives was recommended to me through Melinda's book club, Marginals and Margaritas. I think one of the online book club meetings that I was participating in, someone recommended this to me. And so I picked it up, and then I knew that this one, when I looked it up, I knew that this one was going to be published this fall, so I ordered it, and it come in. And I can't wait to read both the Kamigawa Food Detectives and The Restaurant of Lost Recipes. And this is a cozy mystery series, so I think I'm going to be very, very fond of it, just as much as I am with the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mystery series by Mia P. Manazawa. I was going to say Lila Macapagal. And then this one, Paper Boat by Margaret Atwood. This is a collection of poetry from 1961 to 2023. This is like a huge collection. I have not started it. I will be reading from it from time to time. Excuse me. This might be a book that I read from for my Thursday Night Poetry series. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you again soon. Hasta la próxima.